What if life is not as random as it sometimes seems? What if beneath everything you can see, there are hidden patterns, quiet forces shaping your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, and the world around you? Thousands of years ago, people looked up at the stars and asked the same questions we still ask today. Who are we? Why are we here? And is there a deeper order behind everything? From this search came a stream of spiritual wisdom known as Hermeticism. Its teachings were linked to Hermes Trismegistus, meaning Hermes, the thrice great. Hermes Trismegistus was not simply the Greek god Hermes. He was a legendary figure who joined two ancient symbols of wisdom. Hermes, the Greek messenger of the gods, and Thoth, the Egyptian god of writing, knowledge, magic, and sacred order. The old Hermetic writings came from Egypt during a time when Egyptian and Greek wisdom were meeting. They explored the relationship between the human being and the universe and the divine. Then in 1908, a mysterious book called the Kybalion presented 7 principles that it claimed were the keys to Hermetic wisdom. The Kybalion is a modern book, not an ancient Egyptian text, but the principles it teaches have inspired millions to look at life in a completely different way. They invite us to see that the visible world may only be the surface, and that behind the surface, everything is connected through mind, movement, pattern, and change. Modern quantum physics does not prove these spiritual principles, but it has revealed a universe far stranger and more mysterious than our everyday senses suggest. So come with me, let us open the 7 doors. Principle 1, Mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. The first principle begins with an astonishing idea. Everything exists within one infinite mind, which the Kybalion calls the all. Imagine dreaming tonight. Inside your dream, there may be people, houses, oceans, and entire worlds. They may appear separate, but they all exist within the one mind that is dreaming. The Kybalion asks us to imagine that our universe may also exist within a greater consciousness. It does not say that your personal thoughts control every event. It says that the mind may be woven into the deepest nature of existence. Quantum physics has not shown that the universe is a conscious mind, but it has shown that matter is not made of tiny solid building blocks behaving like miniature stones. At the quantum level, nature is described through waves of possibility. When scientists measure a quantum system, they change their physical interaction with it and obtain one result from a range of possible results. This does not mean human thoughts magically create reality, but it does reveal something breathtaking. The universe is not simply a collection of solid, separate objects. Reality is more subtle than it looks. And in your own life, your mind truly does shape the world you experience. A fearful mind can see a threat where another one sees a doorway. A peaceful mind may notice beauty that a busy mind walks straight past. You do not see life only as it is. You also see it through what you carry within you. The first key is this: Become aware of the mind through which you are meeting the world. Principle 2. Correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. Look at the branching of a tree. Then look at the rivers flowing across the earth. Now look at the veins inside your body. Different things, yet similar patterns. Correspondence teaches that patterns can repeat at different levels of life. The small may reflect the large. The inner may echo through the outer. The way we live one moment may reveal the way we live many moments. Quantum physics does not prove that every inner experience creates a matching outer event, but physics does show that the same basic laws can operate throughout the universe. An electron here behaves according to the same quantum rules as an electron in a distant star. The light reaching your eyes from the night sky carries patterns that help scientists understand objects billions of miles away. By studying the small, we can learn about the vast, and by studying one honest moment inside ourselves, we may discover a much larger pattern. Perhaps the way you avoid one difficult conversation is the way you avoid your own truth. Perhaps the love you keep searching for outside is also asking to be awakened within. When something repeats, pause and ask, what is this pattern trying to show me? The second key is this. The smallest pattern may contain a message about the whole. Principle 3. Vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The chair beneath you looks still. Your hands may look still. The walls around you may look still. But look deeper. Inside matter, atoms are alive with motion. At the quantum level, particles can behave like waves, and modern physics describes particles as excitations within fields that stretch through space. The universe is not frozen, it is movement upon movement. The Kybalion teaches that thoughts and emotions also have different states of vibration. Science does not measure joy, love, or fear as spiritual frequencies that attract matching events, but emotions do change the body. They affect the breath, heart, muscles, attention, voice, and behavior. And those changes affect the people around us. You have felt this. Someone enters a room carrying a deep peace, and something in you softens. Someone enters full of anger, and the whole room feels different. Your inner state moves through the world. This does not mean you must be positive every moment. Sadness is not a low spiritual failure. Anger is not proof that you are doing life wrong. Feelings are movements. Let them move. Listen to them without allowing one passing state to become your identity. So the third key is this. You are not trapped inside one inner state. Movement is always possible. Principle 4. Polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Night and day, hot and cold, silence and sound, fear and courage. Polarity teaches that many opposites are not completely separate. They are different points on one scale. There is no exact place where cold suddenly ends and hot begins. One slowly becomes the other. Quantum physics also reveals a world that does not always fit into simple boxes. Light can show wave-like behavior in one experiment and particle-like behavior in another. Quantum objects can hold possibilities that seem impossible within ordinary everyday thinking. This is not proof of the Hermetic principle, but it gives us a powerful parallel. Reality may hold two truths that seem to oppose each other. You can love someone and still need a boundary. You can be grateful for your life and still want it to change. You can feel afraid and still be brave. The Kybalion teaches that we can move along an inner scale. We may not be able to jump from grief to joy, but you may move from grief to acceptance, from acceptance to peace, from peace to a new beginning. The fourth key is this: you do not have to reach the opposite shore today. You only need to turn towards it. Principle 5. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. The tide rises and falls. The moon grows brighter and becomes darker. Seasons open, bloom, fade and return. Your breath enters and leaves. Life moves in rhythms. Quantum systems also contain rhythms. Atoms absorb and release energy in set amounts. Waves rise and fall. Atomic clocks measure time using extremely steady transitions within atoms. From distant galaxies to the smallest scales we can measure, nature is filled with cycles, waves, and change. The Kybalion says our inner lives also move like pendulums. Some days we feel open and alive. Other days we feel quiet, tired, or unsure. The danger comes when we believe one moment will last forever. During joy, we try to hold the wave still. During pain, we fear the light will never return. But you are not one passing season. Rest is not the opposite of progress. The seed beneath the winter soil may look lifeless, but an unseen transformation has already begun. The fifth key is this: do not judge your whole journey by the season you are passing through. Principle 6. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. One word can begin an argument. One act of kindness can change somebody's day. One brave choice can alter the direction of an entire life. Cause and effect teaches that everything enters a chain. Some causes began long before you arrived. Your family, culture, and early experiences all helped shape patterns within you. You did not choose every cause that shaped your past, but you can become a cause in what happens next. Quantum physics adds mystery to this principle. At the quantum level, science often predicts the chance of an outcome rather than one certain result. Individual events may not follow the simple clockwork causes we expect from everyday life. Yet quantum physics still follows precise mathematical rules. It does not mean that anything can happen simply because we wish for it. The lesson is not that you control every outcome. It is that your choices still matter. A thought can become a word. A word can become an action. An action repeated can become a habit. A habit can help shape a future. Right now, you are living inside effects created by countless earlier causes. And right now, you are planting causes, those effects you may not yet be able to see. The sixth key is this: you cannot rewrite the beginning, but you can place something new into the chain. Principle 7, gender. Gender is in everything. The Kybalion's final principle is not simply about being male or female. It describes two forces involved in creation. One force directs, chooses, and begins. The other receives, grows, and brings forth. The book called these the masculine and feminine principles and said that both exist within every person. Today we can understand them more freely as two creative movements, intention and openness, action and allowing, the seed and the space in which it grows. Quantum physics does not divide reality into spiritual masculine and feminine energies, but physics does show that creation and change come through relationships and interactions. Particles affect fields. Fields affect particles. Systems exchange energy. New forms appear when parts of nature meet. This spiritual parallel is beautiful, but is still a parallel, not scientific proof. A dream needs a clear intention, but it also needs space to grow into something you could not fully plan. If you only push, you may never hear life guiding you. If you only wait, your gifts may never enter the world. So the seventh key is this. Creation begins when intention and openness learn to dance together. The master key. Now, see what happens when all 7 doors open into one room. Mentalism asks you to watch your mind. Correspondence asks you to notice repeating patterns. Vibration reminds you that every state can move. Polarity shows you that change can happen 1 degree at a time. Rhythm teaches you to trust the changing seasons. Cause and effect reminds you that your choices plant seeds. And gender teaches you to unite action with openness. Perhaps these principles are not 7 separate laws. Perhaps they are 7 ways of looking at one great mystery. How consciousness meets change. The Kybalion does not give us scientific proof of invisible spiritual laws. It gives us a lens, and sometimes a new lens allows us to notice a world that was always there, but hidden by the limits of how we had learned to see. The hidden 8th principle. The Kybalion officially names only 7 principles. There is no proven 8th principle secretly removed from the book, but its near ending, the Kybalion gives us one final teaching. It calls it the law of use. It says knowledge that is never used is like a precious metal locked away and wasted. And perhaps this hidden key that brings the other 7 to life, awareness must become action. It is not enough to read about your mind, watch it. It is not enough to know that life moves in rhythms. Remember that when darkness returns, it's not enough to understand cause and effect. Choose one new cause. Wisdom is not something you collect. Wisdom is something you become. So the next 7 days, choose one principle and look for it everywhere, in nature, in your relationships, in your emotions, in the silence within you. You may not find proof of a hidden law controlling every part of life, but you may discover something just as powerful, a part of you that was ready to awaken. The universe is still filled with mysteries, and perhaps the greatest mystery is not only what exists beyond us, But what becomes possible when we finally learn to see